Hello, welcome back to Super Mario Galaxy. It's the first time I think we've started from a pause screen. It makes the most sense. In the last episode, I was trying to beat this full star path speed run, and I wasn't having much success. But we're gonna try again now. Let's see if we can do a little bit better. Um, so, as you'll have noticed, there was a bit of a hiatus the last few weeks. I mentioned that in the last episode, and yeah, I suppose some stuff has been happening. I've spoken about this before. We're trying to buy a house, and we're into our next kind of phase of our next 6 months of looking, and it's hard. I mean, something we've always wanted, or we've wanted for a long time anyway, and we're definitely ready to do it. And we've a lot saved. We have all the documents we need. We have permanent jobs. I have a YouTube channel which puts me in a very good spot to be buying a house. Yes, everything is in set, but it's just to find a house and not be outbid or anything. There's it's kind of it's a difficult thing to balance because you could write off nearly every house you look at. You could say, oh well, that is location isn't great, or you could say it needs work, or it's too far from work, or all these sort of things. But if you did that, you would never see anything, and you just have, there's probably going to be something that you're going to compromise on. It's not going to be perfect. There might be something that you might need work, or it might not have. It might be not the best, not as close to location as you wanted. All these sort of things. So, it's more of a case of what are you willing to compromise on. It's okay maybe if it's not necessarily walking distance from work, say, but for example, there was a house I viewed the other day, and it clearly was in an area that flooded, because I could tell the neighbors had sandbags outside their door. So that's not something you're going to be able to compromise on. That's not something you want at any stage of your life. So it's kind of figuring out what it is that you don't mind about, that is just an ideal and isn't necessarily the be all and end all if it's not there, or if it is there, but then there are other things that you are kind of can't be questioned, or that you don't have you're not willing to compromise on. So yeah, it's kind of that. But aside from the talk of all this talk of compromise, we do want one. Right? The one compromise we're not willing to make is to do without a house. Like, that's the one thing we're not willing to skimp on, or we're not willing to do without the house itself. We do want that part. The location, maybe it might be up for debate or whatever. But yeah, it must be a house at least, or it must be an actual location that we can finally move into. So yes, that all I talk about houses must have done something for me, because I beat that in one go fairly handily. As I'm recording this, I'm doing it on the night of Eurosong. If you're watching this from Europe, then you'll know what Eurovision is, and you probably think it's very square, or else you think it's great. There's kind of two extremes. You either think it's really good fun, and you watch it every year, or you think it's the worst thing ever. And I'm in the kind of camp that think that's watched it every year, and that it's sort of a real event. And yes, okay, it has it's mad, and there's problems with it. It has problems, and there isn't it doesn't always go the way you want. Last year I wanted um uh I forget the name. I think it was Norway. It was in Norway, and the song was something like "Give That Wolf a Banana," which was a great one, but it didn't come anywhere. Um, so yeah, but as, no matter what happens, it's still good fun to watch. Uh, I don't think I could ever stomach going to actually watch it going to the Eurovision, but it's good fun to see what gets through, and sort of debate or discuss what you think will do well, what won't do well, and to see the different trends that take place in Europe. Some years it's all ballads or the songs that do well, or some years it's a really loud dancey song, and other years it's a kind of um, quiet song. So yeah, it's just interesting to see. It's almost impossible to tell um, who will win from year to year. I think the only thing you could say is that it's usually oops. I think the only thing you could say for sure is that it's usually a catchy song. Um, that's more important than it being like this hugely impressive ballad, I think. And that it sometimes, or actually probably most of the time, has some sort of gimmick. So there's some sort of oh no. So it has some sort of quirk to it. Some of the quirks you could name from the last few years could be, say, um, when I think it was Norway won, and the guy who won it was playing the violin. That's a that was a great entry, and the quirk there was just this instrument that we don't see that often. Um, when Lordi won that that heavy metal rock band, that was again really new, really unusual. People hadn't seen something like that at Eurovision before, or at least not something as sort of kind of heavy metal as that. So I think that was another kind of gimmick that worked. Um, yeah, last year maybe you could say the gimmick was that Ukraine was in a kind of difficult position, and it deserved a boost, and that was the sort of gimmick, if you like. Um, so yeah, there's usually something that sets apart the winning song. I think it's it needs to be catchy, it needs to be a good song, but it also needs to have a certain idiosyncratic trait to it. That year when Israel won, you had this sort of almost anime inspired dance. Again, you could say that was a quirk. So that would be my take on it. I don't know if Ireland will ever win again, but um, it's still fun to watch, I think.
Let us begin.
So here's Rosalina winning the story. Days passed with no signs of the comet, or even a single planet. Instead, asteroids extended for as far as the eye could see. If I had known it was going to take this long, I would have packed more jam, said the little girl, above the rumble of her belly. That's kind of an unusual line. It almost has like a badoom at the end of it. I would have packed more jam. Um, Before they left yet, she had packed all the essentials: telescope, butterfly net, stuffed bunny, bread, milk, jam, and apricot flavoured tea. That might be kind of nice, actually, apricot flavoured tea. But I forgot to bring water. At this, Luma burst into gales of laughter, and the girl began to pout. As long as I have starbits, I'll be fine, said Luma. Want some? The little girl couldn't stay mad after hearing this. I don't know if it's nice of the Luma to offer those star bits, but I can't necessarily say that a human girl would be able to eat those pointy pieces of asteroid or whatever. Luma continued to laugh, and the girl couldn't help but join in. Alright, maybe just a nibble. Leaning far out of the ship, the pair began to collect star bits with the girl's net. They almost fell out a few times, but they kept on collecting. The star bits tasted like honey. That's kind of a nice touch. Chapter 3, The Comet. A beam of light pierced through the ship's window. Thinking it was the morning sun, the girl peered through the window, only to find a turquoise blue comet staring at her. The little girl shook the sleeping Luma awake and shouted excitedly, "We have to get to that comet." The pair descended on the comet and found it was made of ice. They looked high and low, but Luma's mother was nowhere to be found. Exhausted, the little girl sat down with a flop, utterly unable to take another step. "Look! Look!" Peering down at the icy ground where Luma was pointing, the girl suddenly noticed clusters of starbits encased in the ice. "Pretty good, huh? Finding starbits is my specialty," said Luma, beaming. "There's ice here, but it's so warm. I'll bet there's water here too." The two decided to stay on the comet for a while. Riding the turquoise comet, the pair continued the search for Luma's mother. Oh, Chapter 4, The Dream. We're really racing through the story here. Oh, so maybe Rosalina is the mother, and actually that the girl is Rosalina's daughter or whatever. One night, the girl dreamed about her own mother. "Where are you going?" she asked. Her mother's retreating back. It's quite poetic. Her mother's retreating back. Without turning, her mother replied, "Don't fret, dearest. I'm not going anywhere. I'm always watching over you like the sun in the day and the moon in the night." A wave of sadness washed over the girl. "What about when it rains and I can't see the sun and the moon?" Her mother thought for a moment before responding. And she said, "Yeah, well, not then, you know. Um, I will turn into a star in the clouds and wait for your tears to dry." Ah, it's beautiful. When she awoke, the girl's face was damp with tears. "You starbits in your eyes," said Luma to the girl. Wiping her face, the girl replied, "These are tears, not starbits. I'm crying because I'll never see my mother ever again." At this, Luma began to cry too. "Mama, oh mama, wah." Kind of a Wario style, wah, there. The pair travelled through the starry skies, and though they encountered many other comets, not one of them held Luma's mother. Luma was despondent. Now, Luma, the rain clouds won't go away if you keep crying," the girl said, giving Luma a squeeze. "I'll give you a present if you stop." So this is kind of an unusual turn of events because a minute ago the girl was crying and Luma was kind of asking, why are you crying?" And now Luma is crying and the girl's asking her to stop, or Luma to stop. The girl closed her eyes and said gently, "I'll take care of you." With these words, she felt a small spark in her heart. And that's it. That should do it for today. "I'm tired now," says Rosalina. "I've had enough of it now. I'm not reading any more stories." You can read it if you at your own leisure, though. Here. Um, so yeah, that's sort of. I actually thought it was the case that Rosalina was the girl, and she kind of found the Lumas and grew up with them. But um, because you can see the girl's mother looks like Rosalina. I mean, maybe it's not that, you know. Um, how many do you need? 600. 600. No way. So yeah, that's on. I didn't think that it was the case that. Okay, I didn't think it was that the mother was Rosalina, but maybe it is. And the daughter's baby, if you like, is a Luma. So there's kind of almost 3 generations there of people looking after each other. So here we have a boss, Bouldergeist. And I quite like this boss. Mario bosses are usually quite easy. It's a case of just... Sometimes they're too easy. If you take an example like something that I've been playing recently or that I played recently was Super Mario 3D Land. And while the special levels or the kind of extra levels that you unlock at the end of the game are harder, the first run through the bosses are very easy. It's just a case of jumping on their head 3 times, almost uniformly. That is the way to defeat the bosses in that game. So okay, so smash these boxes. See if we get something. No, nothing really. So again, we have this mechanic teaching. So you're getting the idea that, okay, these black boos can be swung around because they're sort of explosive and stretchy. And so we can use them to destroy all those. And now we just need one more to destroy fireplace. Oops. Try again. So now we kind of know how this works. Like when it comes to fighting the boss, we're going to have to do something like that. This is quite precarious. We're really in the middle of the base here. And as you can see, we have these sling pods that were in the other galaxy, the one I didn't actually finish. The one I sort of forgot about when it was we got a game over. So again, we've a couple mechanics here. We've got the sling pods, and we've got the explosive boos. We've also got these blue shards now to find. There's one more now. Cross here like this. Yep, perfect. So now we just need to use these pull stars to get in here. Whoops. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Whoa. Okay, didn't go out too far anyway. One thing you could say about the later Super Mario Galaxy or later Super Mario games as well is that it's quite forgiving in terms of how far you're put back. Whenever you die, you know, you're never going back more than a couple of screens really. Even Super Mario 64, if you die, you're usually being put back to the start of the level. So even that's a bit more, a bit stricter than this. Nearly there now. Just get onto this one. And this time I'll try and aim it a bit better. Yep, so here we go. Oh. Have I gone the wrong way maybe? Because I don't remember. No, I think this is probably the right way. I just don't remember there being such a lead up. Okay, yeah, this arena type thing is where we'll find it. And I always, whenever I see these, I'd always take the red ones because it's just more useful. Extra lives you don't really need as much because sure, if you lose all your lives and you just get more when you come back after the game over screen. You won't be set back far as we've said. So yeah, I think it's the red ones are a bit much better investment. Okay, so this episode is already long enough. So I'm gonna um, figure out how to turn off this bird's eye view. Not this bird's eye view, but this first person view. Or okay, I'll figure this out and come back to you. Yes, this is really what you come here for. These kinds of situations.